Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Dylan Talk Sports. My name is Dylan. In today's video, what we're going to discuss is we're going to talk about Roger Goodell and the info that he just released here a couple days ago during the NFL draft. He was talking about possibly adding another game to the NFL regular season and also extending the season out to where now the Super Bowl will be taking place on President's Day weekend, which will actually then, in theory, make it to where now with the day after the Super Bowl, that Monday, will be obviously President's Day weekend. It'll be President's Day. A lot of people have off work that day. And kind of what they're trying to aim for is they're trying to make it to where that day after, people are getting drunk, people are going crazy on the Super Bowl. Everybody, if they went to the game, they got to fly home, they got to get back to for work. Now they can have that entire day off and they can just go freely. Now, in theory, like I said, it sounds good, but when you look at the big picture for the players, that then adds on another game they have to play. Are you going to be taking away a preseason game? Are you going to just add another entire game into the season and keep the 3 preseason games? Are you going to take it down to 2 preseason games and add an extra regular season game? There's a lot we got to get into, so I'm going to kind of break it all down. I'm going to have all the info that you're going to be seeing on screen. I'm going to put a link to everything down in the description below, so if you want to go check it out for yourself, feel free to do so. But without further ado, we're going to get straight into this. So if you're going to enjoy, as always, make sure you're going to drop a like on this video. Be very much appreciated to do so. But without further ado, let's get into it. All right, now as you can see here, like I said, Roger Goodell is talking about possibly moving the Super Bowl to President's Day weekend. When you kind of scroll through here, he went on like the Pat McAfee show, he went on ESPN, he was going on a lot of different networks and kind of talking about it. And it says here he's potentially, with the idea, right now it's just an idea, so it could happen, it could not happen, of extending the NFL season to 18 games, potentially pushing the Super Bowl to President's Day weekend. Like I say, went on Pat McAfee show, kind of talking about it, and he said, and I quote, "I think we're good at 17 now." But he then went on to kind of say, "I'm not a fan of the preseason. The reality is, I'd rather replace a preseason game with a regular season game any day of the week." He then goes on to say, quote, "If we get to 18 and 2 preseason games, obviously, that's not an unreasonable thing. The other thing it does, Super Bowl Sunday ends up being on President's Day weekend, which is a 3-day weekend, which makes it Sunday night, and then you have off on Monday." Now, it says here, not really any meaningful steps need to be taken to seek change to the 17-game schedule to make it up to 18 games. That's something they can just very easily add in. The big question is, like I've been saying, it's going to come down to the players. Do they want it? Because the thing I think all of us look at, the fans, the NFL themselves, the executives, they all look at it as, oh, another game, oh, more money, oh, if we can go on President's Day weekend, people will be maybe wanting to hang out in the town we're having the Super Bowl at, more money involved, the town will want to give us more money to have a Super Bowl there. But hey, people, last time I checked, it's the players that go out there and play the games. Their bodies, you see how last season, how we had so many backup quarterbacks out there on the field? That it's because they can't take this many games. Like just a few years ago, it was 16 games. We just went to 17 games, and so far the players are kind of adjusting to it. And I like 17 games. I think it's fun. The 3 preseason games, it's good. It's a good flow. Before, when it was 4 preseason games, it started to get to a point where it's like it's a little bit too much. The first 2 preseason games, it's kind of like just getting out there practicing. By the time you get to that 3rd preseason game, you kind of know who your roster is. About that 4th preseason game, you don't have any of your starters playing. You barely have any backups playing. You just kind of have a lot of 3rd stringers and janitors and towel boys playing, just kind of seeing how they can do. Maybe they can earn a spot on another team. Now, the big thing kind of going forward, like I said, about how he said, "I'm not a fan of the preseason. I don't think we need it." That's one thing that we need to talk about, because then he went on to say, "I'd rather replace a preseason game with a regular season any of the day." I've already pretty much showed you guys that. Then one thing that did come out was Joe Burrow kind of gave his input and said, 18 games, excuse me, then that means we need 2 bye weeks. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of agree with this point. The best way to kind of think about it is like this. You want to take it from 17 games to 18 games, okay, fine. But like I said, you need to have you take away a preseason game. I guess you could try and work with that. Or you try to make it to where you keep the 3 preseason games because the players are going to want the extra time to kind of, maybe even coaches especially are going to want the extra time to learn their roster, learn their players, and see who's going to be their final 53 players. And then if it's going to be 18 games, you can't just have 1 bye week. It's for the guys to go 18 games and only have 1 bye week, and say you get your bye week around like week 5, that's fucked. For teams that get their bye weeks around like week 5, or some that don't even get their bye weeks until like week 11 or 12, that's fucked. Now, the teams that get their bye weeks around week 8, 9, 10, they're looking good. Because, like, imagine you kind of play the whole season, 18 weeks, and then you get told, hey, your bye week is in week 5. I'm going to look at you and be like, I appreciate maybe the early rest, but then that means I have to go then 13 weeks of non-stop action, collision, battling, non-stop fighting with these players. You thought the backup quarterback situation was bad last year. Imagine what's going to happen whenever you are missing everybody: offensive linemen, defensive linemen, linebackers, receivers, corners, safeties. You're going to be missing kickers. So if they want to tweak it up, like I said, with the NFL schedule coming up, they're not going to do it this year. I don't think it's going to happen. If this ended up going through, it's going to happen probably next season for sure. Roger Goodell is going to try to get it in next season. And to be clear, I'm talking about the 2025-2026 season. But like I said, if it were to happen right now, let's say the preseason kind of starts around like beginning of August, it goes throughout August, and then thereby like around the beginning of September, that's usually where the regular season starts. Let's say we go the full 12 weeks or whatever, 16 weeks all the way through the months of December into January, and then let's say we have to add an extra week, then we end up getting that extra bye week. You're going to basically be adding, I would say, what, 2 extra weeks? Because in the NFL's mind, they're thinking, oh, just take a preseason game, make that a regular season game, you push it out one game, then the Super Bowl can be on that President's Day weekend. Yeah, that might work, but then you're going to be, like I said, having one bye week for 18 games. The Players Association is not going to sign off on that. And we're going to be back to like a whole just circle of life where the NFL is going to be like, oh, come on, guys, just sign it. It'll be fun. You guys can play more football. And the Players Association is going to be saying, fuck you. You're going to pay for all our medical bills whenever we're getting hurt nonstop, hamstrings, pulled groins, muscle tears, everything. Because I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't sign it. I'd be demanding for the 2 weeks bye week, give us 2 bye weeks, and then do something else about that. If you want 18 weeks, give us 2 bye weeks. If you don't want the 18 weeks, keep it to 17 weeks, but then like do something. Maybe if you want to do like 17 weeks still, but then like maybe add a bye week in there for some teams. Like you got to find some sort of balance. I'm no schedule maker. That's why I'm not going to really give my final like diagnosis on what they need to do. I'm just saying, if they go to 18 weeks, if they want to like take away a preseason game, right there you're already taking away less rest for the players. So take away a preseason game, go to 18 weeks, make it 2 bye weeks for the players. You can then still push your weeks out. And then if you want to have that Super Bowl on the President's Day weekend, it still can kind of work out. And like I said, two bye weeks. That I'm going to say it over and over again. 2 bye weeks, 2 bye weeks, 2 bye weeks. Now, like I said, do I think this could be a good idea? It could be more football. It's exciting. But like I said, 2 bye weeks, 2 bye weeks, 2 bye weeks. But other than that, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys did go and enjoy today's video. If you did enjoy it, as always, make sure you go and drop a like on today's video. Be very much appreciated if you do so. If you wanted to watch the entirety of today's video, thank you very much. And like I said, if you have a different opinion, do you like the idea of the 18 weeks? Do you not like the idea of the 18 weeks? Do you think, do you kind of agree with what I said about if they want 18 weeks, 2 bye weeks? Do you not, or do you agree, not agree with anything I said in the video? Do you agree or not agree with anything Roger Goodell said? If you want to leave your complete opinion down in the comment section down below, be more than welcome to talk about with you guys. If you're a fan of the content that I do poster and you want to go and hit that big red subscribe button, feel free to do so. And do not forget to hit that little notification bell to be notified second I post. But without further ado, this has been Dylan Talk Sports. Have a great day. Peace.